4 leaked private text messages from Fox News have now been revealed, and they prove, well, a lot of things really about the hosts over there. How much they despise each other, how much they despise the people in politics they pretend to love, how much they see themselves as very much being not a journalist or anything like that, but an active part of the Trump thing, and a whole lot more besides. How little respect they have for their audience. And I want to dive into all of this because there's so much good here. Now, this is all coming from the case involving Smartmatic. So this is not the Dominion case that we saw text messages from a few years back where they settled for almost $800 million for willingly and knowingly spreading election lies. That was 2 years ago. Best part of that, of course, was Tucker Carlson revealing over and over that he hates Donald Trump. He doesn't respect Donald Trump, and yet he pretends to on TV. And we all know that after those text messages came out, and it was shown that he was lying to MAGA, I mean, his career's done. Nobody even watches him anymore, right? When it was proven that he was lying over and over. Anyway, let's jump into what we've got from this new cache of text messages. The first is just some petty dramas that I think is fun. It's between Jeanine Pirro and Sean Hannity. Pirro accused Sean Hannity of being an egomaniac and cited his bad behavior at the White House. He just storms in like he owns the place, throws his papers on the president's desk and says, "You don't mind if I use your private bathroom?" and walks into the bathroom within Oval and uses it, looks at me and says, "I gotta talk to him. It's all about him, period. No one else matters." And I love that. So Jeanine Pirro thinks that Sean Hannity's an egomaniac. I got news for you, Jeanine, and for Sean. You're all egomaniacs. You're all drunk on your own power and also just drunk. But I love that at one point, because I know that this is an example that actually happened. He did that. And he probably bombed the toilet. Let's be real. And Jeanine Pirro has not forgiven him for it this entire time. But anyway, he got her back a little bit. So apparently she was complaining about her producer telling her around the election, you gotta like dial it back on the election denial. Because the producer had this like crazy idea that maybe they'd end up being sued for like $1 billion. Stupid producer. Anyway, Jeanine Pirro wasn't having it. And so after the election was called for Biden, this is a couple days after the election, she responded by texting Hannity, in all caps, "I'm tired of the censorship and I'm embarrassed by how they called this election." Hannity responded by trying to placate her, saying, "Fox News promoting you every 5 seconds. It's hilarious." And so, yeah, she's being censored as they're constantly running ads on her. And the election was called because Trump lost the election. That's why, Jeanine. And see, this sort of lack of understanding about how things work is why Jeanine Pirro faded into irrelevance or whatever. Oh wait, sorry, she works for the government now and she has got real power over people's lives. Again, nothing matters. Anyway, we're gonna get to more on Jeanine Pirro in a sec. Sharon, you've been around these newsrooms, you've worked with those people. This is just Real Housewives of Fox News to me, but what do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is mild stuff, quite frankly. And I would love to see some of Jeanine Pirro's text messages referencing Pam Bondi. There's just something about when those two are together, I know they're not getting along. I know they're not getting along. But yeah, this is a typical par for the course in these newsrooms that are built around not content, not stories, not the audience, but egos. It's all about the ego. My first job, I was in the newsroom with Geraldo's brother. And so I got to meet Geraldo a little bit, let's just say that these egos larger than life.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into where they see their role being. So Pirro apparently was talking with Ronna McDaniel back in September 2020, lead up to the election, as she's hosting a show on a news network. She's a journalist on a news network. She says to the head of the Republican National Committee, "I work so hard for the party across the country. I'm the #1 watched show on all news cable all weekend. I work so hard for the president and party." You're supposed to be a journalist. You're supposed to be trying to reflect the truth, but of course not. It's not fair and it's not balanced. It's just regime propaganda. That's all it is. And they know it, and the party knows it. Let's keep it real. The viewers know it too. There ain't a damn person watching Fox News. It's like, this is the best quality journalism available on TV. It's the people that stroke their hair, stroke their ego, stroke whatever the best. That's why they're there. That's why they follow them. And by the way, why was she doing that work? Well, obviously, to have a career in right-wing media, you have to be a propagandist for Donald Trump or else you're gone. But she also had a more personal thing she was working for. So Smartmatic says that she was working to curry favor with Trump in part to secure a pardon for Albert Pirro, her ex-husband, who is convicted of tax evasion and conspiracy. So let's just pause there for a second. So they're saying she is just saying whatever Trump wants to hear, and she's lying about the election, lying about Smartmatic because her husband was a fraud. And so she wanted to get him a pardon. And look, Smartmatic is gonna make the legal arguments that they need to make. But that is admittedly a little bit crazy. The idea that the president of the United States is gonna give a pardon to a journalist's husband because she told some lies on his behalf is ridiculous. Wait, sorry, no, he did actually pardon Albert Pirro. He got the pardon. No, he was not, it's not that he was wrong to be convicted. It's not that he's repentant or anything. It's just that fraud doesn't matter if you're a Republican. You can commit fraud, you can do all this stuff, and he'll just pardon you. Yeah. I mean, why should any of these people have the law actually apply to them? They're not peasants after all. These are good elites that are in with the regime. They should be better than us. They should be better protected from the consequences of their willful actions than us. And so anyway, the entire thing is just so ridiculous. She goes on eventually to admit that there was no fraud under oath. She did that because she knows it. She knows it. And so we're gonna get to some more of the back and forth, but just really fast, like the fact, Sharon, that they got the pardon. They're like, nobody cares about this. I doubt anyone even watching our show right now cares that her husband got the pardon. But that is just wild corruption. It's the 1,000th most corrupt thing that Trump has done, but that's really just an indictment of the list, not of the story. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's also an indictment of the FCC. They can revoke licenses for distorting the news in this kind of outlandish way. I'd say this is outlandish, or quid pro quo. I mean, you just described.
Yeah, that's what it is.
She was doing it for the pardon. I mean, and she sounds like a groupie. The conversation that you just relayed sounds like a groupie. I've done all this, and I haven't been invited backstage with the band. I mean, it's just unbelievable. These people, they just have no kind of integrity or even. Do they even look at themselves in the mirror?
I don't know. For most of them, I would avoid it if I were them. But yeah, they don't. But again, okay, let's use the empathy that we are biologically capable of, but that they are not. Why would they have empathy? Why would they develop empathy when getting their careers, their popularity, their money hasn't required it? Getting what they want politically hasn't required it. Getting the tax cuts they want has never required values or integrity, honesty, ethics, professional seriousness, compassion. It's never required any of those things. And in fact, those things probably would blow the entire thing out of the water for them. And so the problem, as always, is not fundamentally with Jeanine Pirro. Jeanine Pirro is just, the ugly diseased wart that the more fundamental problem causes to sprout from the arm of a country that's gone sick. I don't like my metaphor anymore, and I'm going to move away from it, but you get the idea. Our society's the problem more than Jeanine Pirro.